Most people are trying to win in the next 30 days as opposed to the next 30 years, which is the biggest advantage anyone could have because so many people just are trained themselves on short-term thinking that it's limiting them from making a lot of money over a long period of time, which could be the biggest edge for any young, ambitious person that is really trying to get into the business space of having a long-term time horizon and having long-term expectations and trying to grow something really big as opposed to making $10,000 as quick as possible. What most people do genuinely is they look online, they start to see some person making a lot of money from some unique business opportunity, and then they say, okay, I'm going to do that. Then they do everything they can thinking that it's going to take them 30 days to make $10,000 per month. Think about this. Genuinely, I'm asking you, the person on the other side of the screen, do your parents make $10,000 per month? If they don't, how hard do they work? How long have they been doing what they're doing? And if they still don't make X amount of money, ask yourself why. If you earn $120,000 per year, you are in the 1% of earners globally. You are already better than 99% of people. If you think that you are going to become a 1% global earner within 30 days or 6 months or 1 year of doing something, how egotistical is that? That you think that you can start something that anyone else could do. Within 60 days, you could start to make $10,000 per month and be in the 1% of earners global. That takes a very egotistical way of thinking, because if all it took was 6 months or 30 days or 60 days of doing something to be able to be in the 1% of earners globally, don't you think that everybody would do that? The answer is obviously. That's why it's just not that easy. The reason why a lot of young people think that it's that easy to make a lot of money in a really short amount of time is because most people you see online that are driving fancy cars or doing expensive things, they make their money showing you the lifestyle and then selling you the results that they've gotten. That's pretty much it. I have a person that I would consider a decent friend, or maybe more of an acquaintance. I don't talk to him too often, but when I first met him, he was, I think, 18 years old, and he was doing a business model where he was making a good amount of money. And then a few months later, I saw him, and then he said, oh, I switched business models to something else that I thought was a better opportunity. And then I said, well, why did you do that if what you were doing was already working? So I asked him, why'd you switch business models? The reason was, he said, I think that I could make a lot more money a lot quicker doing this. He's a really, really, really intelligent kid, so he actually started doing this and started to make a little bit of money pretty quickly, actually. And then I saw him again like 6 months later, and then he literally switched business models again. What he didn't realize was all you really need to do is stick to one thing for a long period of time, and there is no perfect business model. Everything is very challenging. There is no easy solution. Understanding that and realizing that all large businesses, you just have to spend 10 years to grow something that generates a ton of money, because to get the compounding growth, when you really start to see exponential returns, is when you have momentum and everything starts to compound. But without momentum, it is very hard to get things off the ground and start to get the ball rolling. When you have a team, literally feel like we have the best team in the entire world. Let me actually go sneak up on these guys. They're all working at the coffee shop right now. Part of the team here, absolutely fucking humming out, just jamming. When you have momentum, it is so much easier to build on top of that. Whereas when you don't, it is very, very, very challenging. You can't start momentum from day zero. So if you just change your time horizon and said, instead of trying to be in the top 1% of global income earners within my first 60 days of starting something, realizing that that is a very arrogant way of thinking, and that if you want to be in the top 1%, it's going to take an incredible amount of effort and an incredible amount of time. You're going to have to provide an incredible amount of value to the marketplace. Only way to do that is by providing more value. If you are not providing more value, you are not going to be making more money. And if you think that you just are going to start something and you are deserving of more than you are, it's just a very arrogant way of thinking, because the real reality is you probably make how much money you deserve, because the marketplace decides how much money you get. If you provided way more value, you would make more money. If your clients saw better results, you would make more money. You would get more clients. It would be very easy to scale. You're just not that good at what you do. That's why I want to just get substantially better and be around people that want to get me better, so we can grow something where we provide so much value to our clients. They have no other option but to pay us more, and they want to tell every single person they know about what we're doing.